Well, hello everyone. Thank you for watching today. I just want to make a statement, and as you're going to see again today, I have the American flag on my right, the Israeli flag on my left for a definite reason. I am making a statement. The nation of Israel is blessed by the nation of the United States of America, and God's word says that Jerusalem is an immovable rock. Anyone that tries will injure themselves. But this nation was founded on the Word of the living God. I've offered our Founders Bibles to many of you, and many of you have gotten them. In this Founders Bible is a chronological order of how America was founded, how the Pilgrims found us, and the scriptures they used. It should be mandatory reading by every citizen and non-citizen in the United States of America. The Pilgrims actually left a secular land, suffered greatly trying to get to the new world where they would be free to worship the living God. They wanted to read the Word. They wanted to preach the Word. They wanted to live the Word of God without persecution or imprisonment. These are the facts. Their first act was to plant a 7-foot cross in the sands of Virginia and decree that from this new world, the gospel would go to the nations. What happened to this nation since people died and suffered to create a place where God would be free? Wrote a constitution based on Jesus Christ, the Son of God. What happened? It's one thing never to have heard the truth. It's another thing to hear and know and not stand with it. Today you're going to meet the president's Sharia czar that controls our law enforcement agencies and is operating in Homeland Security, intelligence agencies, and helping write the script of how our local police can enforce the law. You do not want to miss this program. Call your friends and tell them Faye is on. It's time to pull down some strongholds over this God-blessed nation. I am a missionary to America. I am Faye Harden, and this is Well, so many times I tell you on our program, please subscribe to our weekly prayer bulletin. This is a rough copy, and but in it, it's March the 2nd, and the face facts. This issue deals with the Muslims that are working inside of Homeland Security and our federal government. One of them we are going to highlight today, and he is the Sharia law czar. And when you see that we had over 50 members of the Congress that would boycott the Prime Minister of Israel coming and speaking at his own expense to a joint session of Congress, you have to look at who they're rejecting and who they are supporting. So I've done a complete issue on who these 50 plus members of Congress who insulted the Prime Minister of Israel, who literally did everything in their power to publicly humiliate him while entertaining the members of the Muslim Brotherhood, while knowing and understanding that we have terrorist operatives in the Obama administration. They are there. And yet, there's no outcry from any member of Congress. So I want you to meet the Sharia czar in the Obama administration. Now you can say, oh, Faye, don't be a racist. Oh, Faye, you don't like the president. Oh, Faye, da-da-da. Get off of it. I'm telling you, this is who is in. The undermining of our law enforcement agencies, from Homeland Security, the Department of Intelligence, to local and state law enforcement agencies, and the governors really need to wake up. The FBI has told us that Islamic terrorists are in every state in the United States, but they won't tell you where, and they won't tell you how they got there. Our Director of Homeland Security tells us Islamic terrorists are in every state in the United States. Jihad is at the door. But what he doesn't tell you is he's the one that facilitated the flooding of this nation of Mideast Muslims, and they're all over the country in refugee camps. And neither do the governors know this, but also if the jihad, when the jihad they project comes, it will be the local and state police that has to deal with them. But our Congress has given the Homeland Security, Jay Johnson, complete authority to spend $50 billion. But our nation is not safe. And now they have given the Homeland Security another $50 billion plus millions to delegate illegals in this country ID cards, visas, driver's license, Social Security cards, everything they need as a U.S. citizen, they are getting. They are also getting tax income credits, which they will receive anywhere from $24,000 to $30,000 each without ever having paid a dime in taxes. We have people in our government that we elected that feel like there's nothing anybody can do as long as they can make a law, whether it's legal or illegal, but how much that comes into their coffers because of it. Well, the danger is that these 34 million ID cards, visas, work permits, driver's license, there are 34 million being printed. You say, Faye, they keep saying 5 million. Well, why print 34 million sets of legal documents if you've only got 5 million people? And why would any member of Congress ever justify funding such an ordeal? So while the Prime Minister of Israel is literally being publicly humiliated, embarrassing to all of us, everybody in this country who believes in God believes that Israel is the land that God calls home. Believe it's the home that God gave the Jews. And He will fight for that. Yet, this is who is being uplifted and is on our payroll. And this, he's on the screen. I want you to look. The Sharia czar of the president's administration. In this particular March 2nd Face Facts is the list of all of the people who were elected that walked out, ignored, or insulted the Prime Minister of Israel. We're praying over those people. We're praying for God to reveal all of their corruption, that they would choose Imam Mohammed Majid, the Homeland Counter Violent Extremist Working Group member. I want you to keep that in mind. The Homeland Security Countering Violent Extremism Working Group. We just had a violent extremism summit at the White House. It was an imam that prayed the prayer. This is one of the people that helped organize it. It appears that that summit, based on what is coming down the pike with our law enforcement reform, was to keep the Muslims in this country protected from the Americans or law enforcement officers. The same as they put illegals not to be arrested, not to be removed, criminal activity overlooked. Well, we thought that this summit was to help raise a standard against the violent Muslim extremist ISIS, plus the Muslim Brotherhood, plus Al-Qaeda. But it appears that it was organized to make sure the American Muslims were protected from the law enforcement officers or for any potential threat from American citizens. That story has not been told to you by anyone else. Let me give you this man. I want his picture up on the screen. Let me give you this man's biography. This guy is a leader of a group that does not like the United States Constitution nor its people. He accused, this is Majid, or ever how you pronounce his name, he accused the Bush administration of waging a war against Islam and the Muslims. They never had a better friend. When Rudy Giuliani was picking up the body parts at Ground Zero, President Bush was making his rounds to the mosque all around New York and Washington, as was Colin Powell, the Secretary of State, decreeing, we're not at war with Islam, we're not at war with Islam. 3,000 people in this country were dead at the sound of Allah Akbar. And Rudy Giuliani, the mayor, is the only one that didn't go to the mosque and apologize to the Muslims that we had been attacked. You think about that for a minute. And yet, they accuse him of waging a war against Islam and Muslims. The fact that we had 3,000 dead didn't enter anybody's mind. It's about us. We're not going to let you. So they did bring down the buildings. So they did kill 3,000. Well, but you have to take care of us. They say that the media references to jihad as holy war constitute a misuse of that term. The acting czar says he was named to President Obama's Department of Homeland Security in 2011. He persuaded DHS to erase from its Countering Violent Extremism curriculum any suggestion that Muslim terrorism draws its inspiration from the laws and doctrines of Islam. Maybe they do, but you're just going to tell everybody else that they don't. And he changed the definition of what we're saying. Why don't people call it militant Islamist? Well, this is why. 10 days after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, Majid, angered by what he perceived to be growing anti-Muslim sentiment among the American people, belligerently told journalists, "We cannot be apologetic about being Muslims." I don't remember one day of backlash on Muslims in this country from anyone. I do remember them dancing in the streets, sharing candy in Orlando, Florida, and rejoicing that our towers fell. I do remember that. We have a right, he said, to be a Muslim. They do have a right to be a Muslim. But there's people that have a right not to be a Muslim. We have a right not to come under submission. They're not the only people that have rights. In March 2002, federal agencies raided the offices of many Northern Virginia-based Muslim organizations, including Adams, on suspicion that they were providing material support to terrorists. This initiative, known as Operation Green Quest, was the largest investigation of terror financing ever conducted anywhere in the world. Soon after the raids had been completed, Majid held a public meeting in the town of Sterling where he encouraged community building among the groups that were being investigated. To this meeting, he invited such notables as Kit Gage, the National Coalition to Protect Political Freedom, Mahdi Bray, political advisor for the Muslim Public Affairs Council, and Nihad Awad, and the pro-Hamas executive director of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. Awad told the outraged crowd, "This is a war against Islam and Muslims." Our administration, the Bush administration, has the burden of proving otherwise. We're the ones that got killed. We're the ones that our building fell to the ground. We're the ones that still had body parts all over ground zero. Never was there pity for the dead. Notwithstanding his combative track record, Majid has cultivated in the media, political circles, and an image as a moderate Muslim. The Huffington Post, for one, has dubbed him America's Imam. In 2005, Time magazine published a lengthy profile of the Time report. Many of Majid's Muslim constituents who viewed the FBI as their enemy. In 2011, President Obama appointed Majid to serve on the Department of Homeland Security's DHS Countering Violent Extremism Working Group. In this position, Majid was authorized to train and advise personnel affiliated with the FBI and other federal agencies. He soon became a regular visitor to the White House, but President Benjamin Netanyahu is banned from visiting or being recognized to be invited to our White House. He emerged as perhaps the most influential and sought-after Muslim authority in the United States. In his new DHS role, Majid claiming that the media references to jihad as a holy war constituted a misuse of the term, and asked Assistant Attorney General Thomas Perez to arrange for Majid to meet regularly with the top Justice Department officials, allow Majid to re-educate FBI agents via Visa Islam and its practitioners, and carefully avoid criticism of Islam. What happened to the separation of church and state, we all really need to ask, which Majid characterized as religious bigotry and hate. So if you criticize Islam, you are a bigot and filled with hate, and you are a danger to America, and you need to be put on the watch list. You can behead Christians. You can hate Christians. You can burn down churches. You can ban Jesus Christ. You can remove crosses from the graves of the dead because one atheist complains. But don't ever criticize Islam. Majid and other Muslim lobbyists also persuaded government officials to ban the practice at airports of conducting the extra security checks on passengers traveling from a number of Islamic countries. Checks that have been instituted after a Nigerian Muslim tried to blow up a passenger plane on Christmas Day 2009. In response to pressure from Majid and his fellow lobbyists, DHS carefully erased from its countering violent extremist curriculum any suggestion that Muslim terrorists draw its inspiration from the laws and the doctrines of Islam. In 2012, the FBI purged 700 documents and 300 presentations from its training materials. On March the 8th, 2013, Magi and 10 religious leaders met with President Obama for a 90-minute conversation about immigration reform. He's a member of other things, but you're going to have to get this face facts. Also in it are pictures and responsibilities of other Muslims that are placed inside our law enforcement to reduce it to a place that they will not be able to enforce the laws against anyone that's proclaiming Islam as their religion. What do you think about this? Well, I'm inviting you to be a part of our campaign, The Outpouring 3000. God spoke to me at the beginning of the year. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. And that's what we're going to do. I'm asking 3,000 of my television viewers if you would become a partner with me, and I want to send you a beautiful outpouring candle. I want to send with that a small flag, American flag, and the prayer calendar that will keep you on track to call forth in this nation this year a great outpouring. Get my face facts and understand the Bible study that God gave me in the book of Acts, and we will see change in America.
Get your Outpouring 3000 bundle today. Call Faye now.
Well, everything goes so fast, but I just really felt like that the majority of people in this country do not know that we have a Sharia czar that has infiltrated every area of our law enforcement. We have had the Homeland Security Director who has almost stopped border guards and ICE from fulfilling the law. $50 billion, and we don't know where it went. But the people that are going to be paying the price of the states, I'm asking you today to stand with me as we encourage the governors to go and take authority in their states and remove their budget from federal agencies that do nothing to secure our homeland. And when the states have the terror attacks, which everybody says we're going to have, it won't be the people that our Congress has given $50 billion to. It's going to be our states. Why should they beg? Also, we've got the 120, the Outpouring 3000. I really want 120 people to go into an upper room with me for 120 days, beginning whenever you get our bundle. We're going to pray for 3,000 dedicated Americans who love God and love this country to believe for the outpouring of the Holy Spirit on this nation, that we can take a march to Washington, D.C. to cleanse this land. I've never needed your support more. I would like right now for people who've just sat and looked and feel hopeless. Well, we're overcome. Nothing's going to happen. There's false prophecies out there. America's over, die. You know, we blaspheme God. No, God has only begun with America. Will you stand with me in faith, believing that? Help me take a march to cleanse our capital city. It's God that gives the increase. And also, you need to become a prayer partner. You can call the number on your screen, 407-265-0700. Press 1 if you want prayer. We have a prayer center in Amarillo, Florida. Amarillo, Texas. They will call you back if you leave your number, or if you just leave the prayer request. They will pray with you. Our intercessors there take the prayer request and pray with you. If you want to become a partner, or I just want everybody to know, Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the most powerful prayer conferencing call. People from all over the United States. I give the briefing every Saturday. We know where the cockroaches are. We know how to bind the devil. And we know how to loose the Spirit of God and the angels to go bring in the corruptors. And we decree that Satan's kingdom over this nation is coming down. It's not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. So will you go to my website right now, make a donation. Say, Faye, I want to give $120. I want to give you $1,200. I want to pledge $120. I'll give $12 a month. I want to unite with you. I want to be one of your 120. And you need to do it today. Go to our website, insightUSA.us. Enter your email address, and you'll get my powerful e-blast that's going out to let you know that our God reigns. I want to encourage you today to get my DVD on Obamacare, The Untold Story. We uncovered in our research who wrote this bill and why. It merges the amnesty bill with the Obamacare bill for the sole purpose of establishing a one-party system. You see the people and the faces. It was not the Congress. It was unconstitutional, and this DVD will be a life changer for you, and you'll understand why seniors must get the facts. The DVD is available. Senator Ted Cruz says that because of this disastrous law, millions of Americans are out of work or unable to find full-time work. Seniors are dying at the hands of Obamacare.
Get Obamacare, The Untold Story DVD today. Call Faye now.
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's facts, call or email Faye 407-265-0700 or faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA, P.O. Box 917689, Longwood, Florida 32791.